We are live. Make sure you have your phone muted. That's what I'm doing. Hello, everyone. Yep, just double checking. Do not disturb. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Make shift happen. The spiritual variety show where we bring forth different topics, different thoughts and ideas that to explore into reconnecting to who we are, reconnecting to that wondrous part of us, reconnecting to our magic. Hello, I'm Tammy Lee. For those of you that are new to me, I am a magical shift maker and way shower and high frequency facilitator and holder. Helping others, helping you, helping myself even to reconnect, rediscover, uncover that sovereignty of within us, that magic within each and every one of us that desires to come forth. That's part of the work of what I'm here to do. Because we all have magic. We all have magic. Good morning, Joanne. So glad to see you here. We all have magic. And throughout this life, there's so many other beings, so many others that either don't believe in magic or has had it stuffed away themselves, so they don't want to see it in someone else. Goodness, bless me. I brought some tears into my eyes. So good morning. As you pop on, go ahead and say hello. Let me know that you can hear me. Let's make sure this streaming is going good. And right above where you see the description, right above the video that you see, it'll say, I am going live via StreamYard.com. Just click on that because I'm inside the StreamYard video, studio. And if you say hello, it will come up user. I won't see your name. Just by clicking on that link, it just tells StreamYard, you give them permission to let me view your name. So that's how I knew it was Joanne saying good morning. Saying morning. So as we gather, let's just take a deep breath. Allow all emotion that's with us to come up. This is another vital occurrence in many lives is stuffing down emotion. So as you take a deep breath, breathe in for the count of 3, hold for a count of 3, and exhale for a count of 3. Immediately when I first said that, I had emotion come and flicker in my eyes. There's been a lot of emotion traveling lately throughout me. The emotion helps us to get in tuned into our heart, into our body, into our other fields, our etheric field, which we also call our aura. When we allow emotion, it literally guides us to the next step. It also tells us emotion helps us to know that we are no longer in our mind, that we are in our heart. Emotion helps us to be in our heart space, helping to guide us every day, every minute, every hour, and helping us to open up to that of which we do not understand in our head, in our mind. I work with a lot of different clients, especially women that, well, okay, not all women, right? That there's so much in their head that they're thinking so much that their heart, their spirit, their soul cannot guide them. I just got done working with a gentleman that I've known for over 20 years, and he was so engrossed in his head trying to think of how to work certain things out in the business world, that, and it was all tied up in knots, it was all entangled, and he's got a very caring heart, but he was leaving his heart behind. So as we unravel that, as we unravel and untangle, yes, we can have entanglements in our mind. When we untangle those different parts of us, because that's what other powers want us to do. They want us to be all in our head, in our mind, and not follow our heart, because within our heart, that is where the magic is. Our heart. So when we live from our heart space, when we live from that space, that's also where the child within us comes forth. That's also where the child within us comes forth, because there are times when we leave parts of us behind when we are making a decision. When we think, I've done this too, I still catch myself. And I have invested thousands of dollars in things that I thought, not felt, thought I was to do. No one ever told me, what does your heart say, Tammy? Tammy, are you staying in your heart? Is your heart guiding you? One of the things that I realized was, so back in 2004, about that time frame, I created a company with, first it was just me and one partner, and then we both brought on another partner. So there was 4 of us, 4 women, real estate investors, very successful. And then in 2008, the crash hit. Well, what I realized through that entire experience, because it broke us all. One partner, it ended up filing bankruptcy. Another partner was almost filing bankruptcy. Another partner, she was in bed, deathly ill because she couldn't handle the stress. And for myself, bankruptcy was not an option. And we're still paying on some of that debt from 2008. So that's been over 10 years. 8 and 11 is 4. 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, yeah, I have to use my fingers. 3. So that's been over 13 years. We're still paying on some of that debt because we made concessions with different lenders, a lender in particular. And we had to borrow the money to make things happen. So we're still paying on some of that. But what I realized after the fact, it was my mind. It was my mind that was telling me. I loved it. Don't get me wrong. I thought it was, you're right, Joanne. Figures always work. Thank you. That made me smile, giggle, as you can hear. And so what I realized later was that was not my heart call. That was my mind. And underneath all of that, I realized also through all of the turmoil that was created from the collapse of that business and diligently working on attempting to do everything besides bankruptcy, okay? Because I could have lost the family farm. Yeah, I put it all on me because I was the main partner. Tim would just sign papers. And so anyway, what I realized was underlying all of that, and this is why our work is so important, girls. This is why our work is vital, our inner work. What drove me, underlying all of this, what drove me to be in this real estate and to do all this, because one, I heard quickest way to make money, quickest way to become a millionaire. Two, what I realized later, oh, my dad, see, there's emotion there, right? My dad would recognize me. My dad would finally love me. Now, this is over 13 years ago. Now that's all, even though there's still emotion there, I realized, because I've worked on that, even though, okay, so I'll look into this emotion, but however, that I thought I had to have all kinds of money to be a success, because that was from my mind. That was in my head. That was drilled in so much growing up, so much in society. You're not a success unless you financially look like you are. Okay? How many people are in debt way beyond their means because they want to look like their success? I was one of them. I still have to catch myself every now and then. Not very often. So, okay. So, as we're talking about this, okay, so what I also noticed was, and this is something I've been working diligently on deeply for over 2 years, is why do I think I have to be financially, that financially equals success? Okay? Like millions financially. So I'm still working on that. That is not just this lifetime. I came in this lifetime to help heal that. I know that now at the age of 59, right? And this is not about beating ourselves up, darlings. This is about realizing where we're at, how much we're in our head, and coming down into our heart space. But another thing I realized through that real estate company collapse venture, that I thought I would save the farm. That would make my husband love me more. So see right there, my dad, my husband, right? Maybe now they'll love me. Well, if I do this, and it always about dollar signs. So as I work through that, and as we still, I mean, there's a lot of deep work that goes into that. But it showed me also, now looking back in retrospect, for one, forgiveness of self, right? Forgiveness of self. This is huge. Forgiving ourselves. Joanne says, or being a success by being smart enough, the development of the brain, the level of academic achievement. Okay, so I'm wondering how you're meaning that, Joanne. Because I was like success of dollar signs. That's what, in my mind, are you saying that's what drove you? Being smart enough, the development of the, like your academic achievements? Being influenced by wanting others to think you're a success? So that's part of what we're talking about today, because so often we are not in our heart space. We're not in our heart space, and that's where we really want to live from. Ah, Joanne says yes, that men would be attracted to my mind. Oh, yes, parents would love her more. Okay, so I grew up around a lot of, oh wow. I grew up around a lot of sexual misconduct, misconduct. I grew up around a lot of porn. I grew up around a lot of sexual energy that was not utilized in appropriate ways, nor was it taught. And I grew up around a lot of talking with sexual innuendos within the speech. Do you follow me so far? So I'm coming off of Joanne's. Men would like me more, right? I literally thought up until in my 40s, maybe mid 30s. Holy shit, I was in my 40s. I would talk, and I did not know this. I did not know, because here's another thing. Who do you have close to you? Who do you know that you can trust that will help call you out? Whether it's a gentle way or not. There's over a handful of people now in my life that I have given full permission to call me out. I never knew that I was speaking with a tone of sexual innuendo within it, of how I would say things, of how, and yes, I attracted other looks of men, and I would attract the conversation to come towards me. And then one day, I still respect this man to this day. He looked at me when we were just alone. He's like, Tammy, do you realize what you're saying? Because see, I did not feel smart enough in the circle of people, especially men. It mainly was men. I just stood there like a little child. That's how I felt. And when I would say something to add to the conversation, it would be with a sexual innuendo, words and tone. I had no clue I was doing that until this man, Willie, had enough courage and respect for me to say, Tammy, do you realize what you're saying and how you're saying it? I was dumbfounded. I'm like, no, I have no clue. Yes, I'm revealing a part of me that that didn't know better at the time. And that followed me into my 40s, girls. Into my 40s. Yes, until somebody had the courage and enough love and respect for me to bring it to my attention of how I was speaking. Like, wow, right? I had no clue. I had no clue I was doing that. So something else I want you, do you have somebody in your life that will do that for you? If not, do you want that kind of somebody in your life? That you can put out that call, you can put out that intention of attracting that kind of person into your life that will help you with your language, will help you with the language from the heart. You see, I was still in my head. I had so many insecurities. That would be a good word to say. Insecurities. And wait, back then, I wanted to feel smart. I wanted to be included. I wanted to be in the circle. It's in my like 40 to 43 time frame. Like, wow, when we realize the things how we live so much from our head. I thought that was the way you were to speak with men. Because that's the way my dad spoke. That's the way people around my dad spoke. With sexual innuendos. That's the way some of his brothers spoke. My dad was the oldest, so I was around different uncles. I literally thought, because that's what I grew up with, that is how you were to talk with men. Joanne says, thank you for your story. What we teach children and learn for ourselves is mostly unconscious until in some way we are presented the truth outside the matrix within which we have been programmed. Yes, we are programmed, that's for sure. And it takes a lot of doing to unprogram ourselves so we can reprogram ourselves the way we desire. And girls, we have so many helpers. Just take a deep breath right now. I want you to sink down, sink down. Take your eyes down, down, down. Take your eyes out of your head and let them go down, 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 down into your heart. So what's one thing? Is just take a deep breath. As you allow that to flow down into your heart, down, down, down. We have so many helpers. We are so loved and so supported. In this heart space. Ask, have intention, intend for helpers to come forth. Help me how I don't even know what I need help with. Maybe you're like saying, well, I don't need help with anything. Oh, darling, there's something. There are magical beings. There's magic within us. About 3 weeks ago, I got a deep, deep desire to stay in that heart space. Allow yourself to feel that and keep breathing. Breathing into that heart space. About 3 weeks ago, I felt this internal call to decorate beyond what I've ever done in our yard, to light it up. And I just like, wow. Because I know the kind of time that takes. I know the attention that takes. I know the commitment that takes, and not knowing how the weather would hold out. And I said yes. I had a yes within me that wanted to do that. But I also knew of all this other stuff that's, other things of life that needed to be done, and the time commitment this would take. And I just put this call out from my heart. If this really truly wants to happen, I need help. And you know who I kind of felt like? And some of you might think I'm pretty crazy, but I felt like Optimus Prime in the very first Transformers movie, at the very end, where he stands on this hilltop, and he just like puts out this call into the universe. And that's how I felt from my heart. And wow, did the helpers show up. And the weather. See, it's not always just two-legged. It's not always just humans. Even the weather has assisted me. The wind, the sun, the air have assisted me. And some of my daughters have shown up. 2 of them showed up over the weekend that was unexpected to me, because they're like, okay, we almost got the outside done. Mom's almost got the outside done. Now, one of them helped me tremendously. There's no way I could do that all by myself. I would still be working on that, and it's over 90% done. Right? Yeah. And I said, they said, let's go do Mom's house. Let's go do the farmhouse. And I had a 4-hour class each day, and I was pretty wiped out. And so now all the inside's decorated, and it's clean, and they put stuff away, and they organize stuff, and I'm like, wow. And I did not even have to ask. And I really feel that's because that original intention from the heart, I said yes to doing this, to this creation. And I need help. So I'm putting that frequency. And I still need it. I still need the help. Maybe there's something else that, because we're not completely done. Okay. My son has always for, gosh, he's 40, for 20 years, I think, has always bought us a real tree. Because one year we had a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. It was cute, I thought. But our Joe, he's like, oh, that's never going to happen again. Because I'm serious. One year when the kids were all little, they were all at home. This is over 30 years ago. Because we were in our old farmhouse. And we couldn't afford much. I was a stay-at-home mom. We had 5 kids. And you just make shift happen, right? With whatever you have. And one of our neighbors ladies said, Tammy, you have a big lilac bush. Go cut a branch out of that and wrap it all with cotton. And then wrap it all with lights. And that's what we did. I thought it was gorgeous. I really liked it. Joe didn't. So when he got out of school, he said, that will never happen again, Mom. I'm going to buy a tree. If that's my gift every year, well, this year, it's not going to happen. And why was that? What was the point of me telling you this? This year, it's not going to happen because of the drought. Trees just aren't really available without being overly, yeah, they're outrageously priced and they're tiny. So I said, don't invest your money into that. So the help, okay. So this original intention is I need help. I have a daughter that's got a 9-foot Christmas tree up in the attic somewhere up in her attic. Mom, you can use that. Okay, perfect. See, I would have never I didn't know that. I would have never thought of that. So in that heart space where you're at, what's one thing? Or do you even have to know one thing? Just put out that call, put out that frequency from the heart. Such powerful frequency within your heart. Because sometimes I just start crying. I get emotional from this massive amount of love, of purity, of support that I never felt growing up, that I never felt even in my adulthood, that now I'm feeling, and I'm feeling it, and I'm experiencing it a lot because I'm doing the inner work. And that's what I want to encourage you all. What inner work are you doing? Are you healing things? Are you transmuting things? Are you clearing things? Thank you. You just helped me to know something. Something just came through to do a special. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. From that space. From that space. If you can allow the veils to drop, the hindrances to fall away, allow yourself to be nourished. So much love. So much love and gratitude for who you are. What is it? What is it you want help with? Joanna was the same way. Not that Joanne says, I tend to think I have to do it all alone. Well, I always thought I did because I never knew that there was helpers, right? Or I always had to pay an exorbitant amount of money for a helper. And that's one of your practices. She says, I find it so hard to ask for help and assistance. And Joanne, I don't want to say challenge, but maybe that's what you are to practice right now through this season right now, is to ask for help. I can already feel the barriers falling away. I see pipes, and these pipes are just like falling away and rolling down away. Joanne also, thanks for reminding me to ask the universe for help. She's needed to publish her prayers. She's felt so blocked. I self-published my book. I had help, and I invested in the help to help it become an international bestseller. It was in 11 countries and in 5 categories. And a month before I published it, I was even wondering why I even wrote it. Would it even help people? I was so in this mishmash of stuff. There's help for you girls. There's help for all of us. We just have to ask. And ask from that heart space. Because when we ask from there, there's no agenda attached. It gives us freeing. It gives other beings, whether they're human or not, opportunity to come and assist us, knowing and feeling there's no agenda of why we ask for help. I had to do that raising my kids. I had no idea how I was going to raise my children. So, Carol, as you ask for those different avenues of revenue, ask from your heart. Ask from the heart. And be open to what you're shown. Be open to what you're shown. So, because Carol just said, I am asking for different avenues of revenue. And also just ask for whatever they know I need. Yeah, because sometimes that's beyond our own knowing, right? My task is just wait to see the answers. Or feel the answers. Or hear the answers. Or sense the answers. I know you're impatient. And then also ask from this inner part, like, what's really important? What's really important? Is it a need or is it a want? Is it a need or is it a want? It took us over a year to find a different vehicle. It was a need. And I knew it was going to be an investment. And we'll have it almost a year now in January. Yeah. Took us over a year. Took me over a year to find it. And we haven't upgraded our vehicles in over 10 years. Over 10 years. But I was the one in the way. I've told this story before, but let me refresh your memory. I was the one in the way. I had 3 or 4 different kind of vehicles I'm looking at on a list. There's one car lot I was not going to go to. And my dad kept saying, go there, go there, go there. They had a bad reputation. From what I knew of them personally, that dealt with three people I knew. Didn't take care of them. And I finally went there. You know, Tim, my husband, went with me. We test drove a certain kind of car. Yeah, it had power, but it didn't feel comfortable. Like, no. Okay, don't need to go there. I did my daughter duty. Okay, Dad, I went there. And then we went and checked other places every now and then, you know, throughout the month. Because last year at that time, it was snow and icy out. And the prices were outrageous. We thought we'd have to spend over $30,000 on a used vehicle. And so still couldn't find what we wanted. We got to the car lot and something was sold. Already sold by the time we got there. So we go back to this original car lot that I was never going to go to. See, it was me that was blocking the manifestation. That's why I say be open to however it wants to appear. We go back because I wanted a third seat. with 13 grandchildren, with 4 daughters. Like, you know what? If I want to do a girls trip, I want to have enough room. And my husband didn't want a 3rd-seater. I'm like, no, I stuck to my guns. That's what I wanted. I knew it. I knew that's what I needed. And that's what I desired. So we go back to this car lot. They have this vehicle in. Buick Enclave was not on my list because one of my daughters had one. I did not like it. I don't know why right now. Don't know if it's color or whatever. So anyway, so we ended up purchasing it for $10,000 less than what we thought we would have to pay for something. So not only by me getting out of my own way, okay, it took me over a year to figure this out, right? Like, hello, Tammy, knock, knock. I love her. Her name is Jubilee. Her name came when I was taking my mom and my Aunt Al on a trip to Texas in May. Jubilee. Tammy Lee is driving Jubilee. And she's gorgeous. She's a pearl-coated Buick Enclave, older style, which is fine. Low mileage or mid-average mile. But it took me. So if you're wanting something, if you're desiring something, and you're asking for help for something, and you're not getting it, are you in your own way? Will you drop your list? As soon as I said, yes, I'll test drive it, like I even kind of buckled to it, like, fine, we'll go test drive it. They had just got it in, they traded for it and did not even have it on the car lot for sale. Tim and I drove it, test drove it. They even let us take it home overnight. Went back the next day and said, okay, what do we got to do? Let's go. She's ours. Like, wow, really? Because finally, somehow, some way, I had help in getting it out of my way. Dropping the list. Dropping my thoughts. And coming into my heart. When we can live from our heart. And this is a practice, ladies. This is a practice. When you catch yourself in your head. And I know some of you that are either right here live or listening to the replay. I'm in my head again, right? Yes, you are. I have to catch myself too. It's an ongoing practice to catch ourselves when we're not in our heart. To live from that heart space. What's like that desire, even the frequency of the desire. Oh, yeah, the frequency of the desire. So, Carol, I want to ask you the different avenues of revenue. Like, oh, I want to just be so in love with whatever those avenues of revenue are. Just like, oh, from the heart. And then it just expands and expands. What brings you joy? What really? Wow. Oh my gosh, I can make money like, wow. Okay. So there you go, ladies. Let's keep this conversation going on inside our Facebook group. I'd love to know how things are unraveling for you. I mean, really, when we can share with each other, because Joanne, I don't know what all you need done with your book of prayers, but I will tell you, Carol is awesome. Carol Iverson is awesome. She's helped design some things for me. Maybe even a book cover. Who knows? She's done a book cover for me for a workbook I have. So maybe that's why you two are on here today. Maybe you can help facilitate something between the two of you. Who knows, right? Put out the heart call. Ask for help from the heart. And allow things to appear how those things want to come to you. Yeah. Out of the head into the heart. So much love to all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you so much for being here today. And if you feel compelled, share this video. You can share this video with other people, even people within the group. If you want to share it outside the group, you can go to the Emerald Compass on Facebook and share it that way. So Joanne says one more thing. I have experienced so many miracles to manifest since the mid-70s. I wonder why I still forget to get out of my own way, right? Darling, we all do. Regarding things that call for me to realize and experience my own personal power. This is even hard for me to type out. Putting myself in the limelight. Yeah, I understand that without explanation. Yeah. Wow. I'm just realizing an amazing. Wow, this is awesome, Joanne. Wow, I'm just realizing an amazing aspect of myself that's been in my way. So much love to you, to all of you. Cheers, everyone. Good job, Joanne. Way to go, Carol. Keep me posted, girls.